This conference will now be recorded.
If I have a location as well as some other parameters, will they count as like, okay, and I'm trying to extract a list of workers by gender like you did. So would that be, okay, employee in location X plus the other condition that I had applied, for example, maybe city or maybe a manager, whatever, would it count as an ending when it extracts the result for me?
Maybe I can give you an example so that you can understand what it does. So
Okay.
on the row columns, you have given as gender and location. Okay.
Okay.
The first row is gender, second row is location. Assume that there are two genders in your organization. One is male and female, and locations are 10 locations. Okay.
Yeah.
So how many rows you can expect? So typically 20 rows, correct?
Yes.
So what happens for the location one? How many people were male? For the location 2, how many people are male? Like that, all 10 locations, 10 male count will come. Next list, like female, first location count, female, second location count. So
Okay.
you can assume.
Okay, got it.
Because I didn't want to put in and or condition so that you may get confused. So
yeah, in my mind, I was just trying to understand, and you explained it exactly what I wanted to hear, that if one of those conditions has multiple values, like gender has multiple values, location may be one, but gender has multiple values. So the answer is that you will get as many permutations as their values,
exactly.
like 2 times the number of locations.
Exactly. So if you have 8 different parameters or rows that you're passing, values that you're using rather, so obviously 8 times multiplied. So how many ever it?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised as no one has joined other than you, Tahira. So okay, I don't have anything to do. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's. I think we need to log in as Logan McNeil. I'm not able to access the calc fields. Start proxy. All right, we have Logan McNeil. So let's create. What is that? Create calc field. Let's say worker. So we'll go with the new thing, that is evaluate expression. Yesterday we stopped at true or false condition, the last one I believe, true or false condition. So we'll pick it up, the evaluate expression as a new condition or the function. So WP evaluate expression. So let's go for our notepad. You can see here. Let's click OK. Meanwhile, okay. Calc fields, yes, this is the one. So before I proceed to calculation, so let me just talk about additional info. So if you want to give some more information about this calculation field, you can just put those things here. And authorized use talks about the security aspects. Typically, all your calculated fields, we give it as a default areas. If at all you wanted to give it a specific security region or area, you can just go for it. So these are all again the different usages. Let me just pick this. So default areas is something which your calculated fields, whenever someone is using, will be available. If you want to restrict to integrations only or something, you can just go for it. And do not use will let your calculated field put a stamp saying that DNU or do not use. So maybe for different reasons, you don't want someone others to not to use this one. So you can just click this checkbox. Intermediate calculation. So typically, if you wanted to store the intermediate result and you don't want this, to pass this particular calc field to another calc field some value, maybe you wanted to make use of this one, intermediate calculation. But typically, I did not see any usages that I should be going with. So, but let me just read this one. Check this box if calculated field is an intermediate result and you do not want it displayed in the main field prompts. So as it says, you don't want to display it in the main field prompts. You can just check this checkbox. And category, you can have different categories that you may want to use. Select it like benefits, payroll, or some functional area, or uncategorized means it's another category where it is not categorized to any one of this. So that's about this. Advanced, let's go here. And obviously there is something called as reference ID for each of your calculated field or any object that you take. So you can edit this reference ID here itself, other than otherwise going to your reference IDs of a business object. So I'll definitely take you there. What are the reference IDs and how you wanted to go for it. So WQL aliases, whenever you create a calculated field, it automatically creates an alias. So by truncating the spaces basically and gives you CF underscore or whatever they have kept it. What are these options? Include as a default view by field and drill down. So yeah, that's the options. Yeah, were you looking for any other specific things, Tahira?
No, I mean, I just wanted to know when we would use this, but you're saying it's something that you've hardly ever seen used, and it's something that
we typically just leave it as is, whatever you do it. So by default, all those values will be there until unless you want to maintain it, basically. Like you wanted to specifically say that this calculated field belongs to payroll, you'll just tag that, by the way, right?
But when you say do not use, does that kind of disable it and nobody can use it, or is just for information?
I think it will still allow you to use it, right? It's just for information.
Right.
If you wanted to delete your calc field, there is an option to delete calculated field.
Exactly.
And it will tell you that if it is being used elsewhere, it will not allow you to do so. Right. So if it is being used in another calc field or another report, it will say that it is being used.
Okay.
So you cannot delete. Yeah. All right. So let's go to our report in the meantime.
Hey Pradeep, Ganesh here. Sorry for the delay. I had a meeting.
Hello, Ganesh. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So I was just wondering where are the other people? Okay. ORG colon, oh, sorry, not organization. Sorry. Report RD colon WY calc. Oh, what happened?
WP.
Oh, I'm really sorry. This happens, once in a while in all my sessions. Yeah, thanks for that. And people, I mean, you're sharp that you're corrected me. Sometimes people will not realize, and I also don't realize it goes forever. So yeah, that happens. So we are in the calculated field report. Yesterday, if you remember, we had got our true or false condition. It says whether this person, whomsoever the worker with the help of management level says, is that person an individual contributor or not? So we identified through true or false that if the person is individual contributor, it is going to say yes. If not, it just leaves it as is. As we already understood that true or false condition always gives true if the value is true. If not, it just leaves as is or blank, right? So if you have a requirement that you need to put a value saying that is this person a manager or a non-manager? How do you identify? If the person is having the management level as individual contributor, then you will say non-manager. If he is other than that, like manager or supervisor or VP or CEO, he is a manager. So that field we are trying to create through evaluate expression. As the name suggests, you are evaluating a condition. So always remember, your evaluate conditions, your evaluate expression will rely on condition. Wherever you see condition, it's nothing but your true or false condition. So it is asking, so it's evaluating. If this condition is true, then put this value. If this condition is true, then put this value, something like that. So now we have yes or no, manager or non-manager, right? You don't need to create two conditions. Okay, so I'll just help you explain with the condition or the scenario once again. So make use of a true or false condition. Okay, WY true or false. So WP true or false. So what is this going to return? Yes for individual contributor. When if it is yes, I need to put some value. So what kind of value I need? So I'm saying it's a text value, non-manager. So you go and put text. So as we already know and understood and learned that evaluate expression is one of those functions which allows any of the type. So here we're just going with the text. When you said text, it enabled it for me. So now I'm just choosing non-manager. So how I can put the non-manager? Maybe I can just use a constant, create a constant by going text constant. Remember, we are using a text constant like ADP or something. So same way you can create it like this. If you notice there is something already created, I'll just make use of it. Okay. If you have any question, I can recreate it. So I'm just opening it for a new tab so that you know, understand what it is. The function is text constant and you put the constant value, non-manager. Likewise, you can create manager also. I think we have done it in my previous sessions also. So yeah, we'll use this one. And if the person is a manager, it is not returning anything, right? So we are defaulting a value. So we can default a value saying it's a manager. I'm using an existing field that was already present, okay? Say manager. So you could have done other way also. What? WP true or false condition for manager one, non-manager one, you can select. Correct. You can create another condition and say that if the person belongs to any of the list, like manager or supervisor or VP or SVP or CEO, then give it as a manager. So as we have only two conditions, if it is true, we are giving this. If it is a false, we are giving this. What if we have three different values that you're showing up? In that case, what do? You create multiple conditions. If you have 10 conditions to analyze, you create 10 different true or false conditions. For each condition, you're going to put a value. What if it returns true? Understand this? Return value if condition is true only. If it is true only, then it returns the value. Otherwise, it doesn't. Any question at this point? Okay.
You'll just see the result in the report, and then I guess it'll be easier to understand.
Okay, got you. Sure. So let's copy this, click OK. So I agree with you. So yeah, that's the reason why I mostly run the report every time. Go to actions and edit this report. So as if you want to click this one, you can just click this. This is the shortcut. Wherever you go, if you wanted to access the first task, for example, yeah, you want to access this, you can just click this one. So this is a shortcut which will automatically take you to the first task in your list. Let's go and add a calculated field. True or false condition, post this, I'll keep it. Click OK. Run to see the results. Now you notice this, if the person returns true or yes, it says non-manager. If it is not returning anything, we said the default is manager. So let's see few other fields or employees, and you can notice this person is a director, this person is the executive vice president. So all these people other than individual contributors should be a manager. Yeah, any question at this moment?
It's clear.
Okay, cool. Now let's go to other calculated fields. Go to another calculation. So let me try save this one. What do we have done? Worker business object. It's just that we are using worker business object. We are using it in our report. If you are doing it for what is that? Organization, or if you're doing it for some dependent, if you're doing it for payroll results, or if you're doing it for benefits, so you can take whichever business object you want it. So that's the usage. So all the functions will be available for all the business objects that you can access. Next, let me choose. Look up related value. So as I just picked up a couple of them yesterday, so one yesterday, true or false is very important. The next one, which is evaluate expression, is also very important. And now lookup related value is also equally important. This you'll use it very widely or vastly. So as the name suggests, you are looking up for a related value. So I'll give you an example. WP, we call it as LRV sometimes, or most of the times you keep it as LRV. When someone says that, can you create a LRV? It's nothing but lookup related value. Click OK. I'll just put this here. So what we are trying to achieve. So you have person manager. Are we adding? Where is the manager? Manager level 1. I hope I got it. Yeah. If you notice here, let me go up. Yeah. So for Adesh Shah, this person is the manager, Dylan Shah, right? and I want to understand what is my manager's employee ID. This is which record? Workers record. I want to identify my manager's employee ID. I want to identify my manager's manager or manager's email ID, manager's location, anything for that matter of fact related to my manager. This is my related object on my worker business object. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to take this as a reference and identifying or looking up the data for my manager. So that's the related value. So we're just taking one example, okay? Again, lookup. What is the lookup field? W, so manager level 01. I'm taking this as a reference. So understand, this should give you some information. So in this case, management level 1 is an object which has some information. So you're trying to access that information and returning some value. So what is the return value? I'm expecting some employee ID. Or I can say manager name. So I can edit everything. Click OK. We'll go one after the other so that we don't lose the track. Actions. I'll bring the manager to the first. Actions, edit. Custom report, edit. Let me add here. I'm just starting the manager level 1 also so that I can see it right away. And another field. Now we are going with WP LRV. Okay. And employee ID is also there, so that's okay. Click OK. So you can add how many number of times you wanted those fields in your report. So instead of going down below, I'm just adding it here so that I can validate it right away. Click run. All right. So it says that employee ID is this one, but this manager's employee ID is this one. Correct? So we are bringing a lookup related value of a manager. So here is what the data is. We don't have any manager, so no data as such. So scroll a little down to see just a few more information. Yeah, you notice that the employee ID is different and this data is different. Maybe you can just quickly check if it is correct or not. 21036. So go here. They should be accessing this employee. Scroll down if it gives me some information. It's not giving me anything. Yeah, I think I need to go to the worker just to validate if we got the correct information or not. You can just go there to check it. (21036). So that's what we got it. So that's how you use LRVs or lookup related values. So let's go for another calc field. I'll try to cover whichever is more important or vastly or widely used. Then we'll see other stuff as well. Now we'll go with instance related fields. ESI, extract single instance. Go with worker. WP. Extract single instance. Click OK. What is the source field? So what we are trying to achieve, first thing we need to understand. If you go here, right down below, you have something called as dependence. So in this case, I have Angela Binacci. There are two dependents for this person, correct? Angela Binacci has two dependents, Tiffany and Carlo, one child, one spouse. This, what is this number? Two people, which means multi-instance value. There are two people, those are dependents for this employee. I want to identify only one person out of this. That too only children, that too only child. This is the value that I'm deriving from my or getting from my dependence business object, correct? Now what am I saying? I want that field to be showing up in my worker business object as a field value. So here I'm doing extract single instance. First of all, we need to understand what is extract single instance. As the name suggests, you are extracting one instance out of more than one, obviously, right? Whenever you are extracting or whenever you are looking at a source which has more than one, then only you can extract one instance. So for that, your source field should be multi-instance. So if you have more than one value, you can extract one. In our case, let us say dependence is the source field. So we have dependence as or dependent as our source, one of the field in our business object, by the way, worker. So if you notice, all the fields that it is showing up in my source field is multi-instance. This symbol represents multi-instance. Go choose this one. When you select it, it enables me a few other options. It says the related business object is dependent. So don't worry about what it is because you have the source field. Condition. On a conditional basis, I want to pull. What is my condition? I want only children to be showing up. Okay, fair enough. What if I have two children or three children? Which one I need to bring? If you notice here, there are two kids for Anna Reynolds. In our case, it can only give one instance, right? At the end of the day, you can extract only one instance. You need to make sure your conditions and sorting will bring only one. Otherwise, it will fail. Here, you need to ask, what is the next thing that you need within child? So I see, okay, fine, fair enough. I get the children. There are two children. Which child you wanted to be showing as a single instance? The requirement is you need to bring the younger child out of the lot. Okay, so you want to extract one person out of the dependents, first thing. Second thing, who that person is? Child. And if I have more than one child, whom I need to bring? The answer is the younger child or elder child, whomsoever it is, right? The requirement is to bring younger child out of the lot. So I took the dependents. So if you see, dependents has three dependents now. Employee has three dependents. 1, 2, 3. condition. What is the condition you want to say? You can apply whenever, as I told you, whenever you see condition, it's a true or false. Basically, it expects true or false. If it is true, then do something. If it is true, then only do something. So if it is false, it doesn't care, because your true or false condition only returns true, right? So go and choose a condition, or you need to build a true or false condition that my dependent is a child. So already there are some conditions, the true or false conditions. I'll just try to make use of it. When you are creating, I suggest you to go and create on your own. So let's say there are a lot of such conditions, so I'm just using one of them. Dependent relationship is child, so I'm just picking this. So you can cross check whether you are using the right condition or not, right? So go to that condition and see. You can notice that this was built on dependent business object, by the way. The business object is dependent. It's a true or false condition. It's just picking up what is the relationship. The relationship should be child, is what the condition is. When you use that condition, your instances will return only children. Next comes the sorting. So there could be more than one occurrence of your child, right? So which way you wanted to find out? First of all, you need to sort your data to judge whether this is younger or this is older, right? So how do you do? With the help of age. Age gives you a perfect balancing of how you want to sort the data. So let's go with age. I choose the age. Then it is asking me which way you want to sort the data. So we got the age. So whether you wanted 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1, which way you wanted to sort. When you say ascending, it's increasing. When you say descending, 3, 2, 1. When you say ascending, it's 1, 2, 3. I'll say whichever way you want to take. This is proportional to this, right? Sorting and picking up the. So let's assume that descending, which means highest age will be at the top. 3, 2, 1. Now, as you're saying, the youngest child, right? When you have 1 at the end, what will you pick? The last occurrence. When the requirement is the highest or elder child, you will pick the first one, which is 3. We'll say first occurrence. In our case, it's a last occurrence. Let's assume that they wanted you to pick any second child, right? So you can go with specific occurrence 2, or if they ask a fifth child, a second child, a third child, you can just go with that. Let's assume with this, or let's go with this. Click OK. We'll try to use this. So if you understand extract single instance, that will be one of the little complex than the others. Rest of the other instances are pretty easy, so I'll tell you. Let's go to actions and try to add this. I'll add it right down below here. So we know that dependence is a related business object of worker. So you need to be sure about the concepts, right? So That is the reason you're using accessing dependents as a business object here as a related. So I'll just use that field, okay? So that's a dependents field which has all the dependents in it. It's a multi-instance field. Notice that. This is the same field which we have used sometime back in our ESI, extract single instance. Now I'm going to say I want a child who is younger. Click OK. So let us try to see if we were able to get that information correctly. Run this. Now let's go straight down below. Dependents, wherever dependents are showing up. So we have one example, Anna Reynolds or someone, right? We'll go there directly. Okay, here we go. Anna Reynolds. This is the dependents business object, that is related business object having three information or three rows of data. Allison, Benjamin, and Sharon. So we said that we want a younger child out of these three. So we can see the data 32, 34. Who is 32? Allison Reynolds is 32. So we got this employee, this dependent. This is extracting single instance. Any question?
No, I'm going to practice it and then maybe I'll have question.
Okay. So now create another calculation. Now this time we're going with multi-instance. As the name suggests, it gives you more than one value, multiple. So EMI will give you extract multi-instance, worker business object, WP, now it should be easy for you to understand this as we have just done with the single instance. Source field. So go for the source field as dependents. And you can apply the condition. So my condition right now is I want to bring all the children to show up. So we have two children. So extract single instance will not help you do that. We need to extract only one person at a time. So in this case, you have one spouse, one child. So obviously one child will show up. If we have two children, obviously it will show one with your single instance, either younger or elder. You need to identify which one it is, or first instance, which are first occurrences. But if you want both the children to be showing up, you can go with extract multi-instance. If you want to extract spouse, obviously you can use single instance because there will be only one spouse linked with a worker by law. So you can go with the extract single instance if you want to go with spouse. My condition is going to be, again, I can use child condition, no sorting and all required. Okay, before I go ahead, there is something called as operation type, which is subtype, union, all those things will show. So this helps you in using more than one source fields to get those information. Let's say most of the times you use subset. Union is something. You are sourcing two fields, one data from here, another data from here, including both of them into one field. Subset, which is, as the name suggests, you have a whole set like this. I mean, it's more equivalent to your mathematics, childhood maths, right? So you have three people. Out of this, I'm doing a subset. Subset is inclusion of this one on your main set is called a subset. Basically, it cannot include more than this. The limit or the boundary of this is this, out of which it can have these values. That's a subset. Union, if at all I have this and this two sets, so I can add these two and put it as 4 rows or 4 entries. And intersection, whichever is common in this and this will be intersection. So those are the intersection, aggregate, all these operations. Union, subset, intersection, except. Except is nothing but except this. So exclude that. That's what it means. When you say except, you are accepting means you are excluding the second set from the first set. That's what it means. Typically, by default, you will see subset. Most widely used is subset. Okay. Dependence. Now, my condition is dependent child. So always remember, condition is true or false. Basically, dependent is child. I'm going with this. Click OK, and I'll go for another calc field. Meanwhile, extract multi-instance now. CRI, count related instances, worker, WP, count related. So the best part is all these functions are self-explanatory with the names or wordings. So you don't need to be worrying much about remembering all these things and so on. Oh, come on. When I do a control Z something, it's just wiping out. Again, it's not giving me the. This is not good. Okay, whatever it is. Count related instance. What is the related field? Again, I'll go for dependence. Where is that? Dependence. As you know, I already told the shortcut. So when you're searching for something, if you press the key, the first letter will, the cursor will pop up at that point. So if you want to count all the instances or conditional based, if you want to count all the children, right, you can set the condition again. Or otherwise, I want to count all the instances, how many people are there as a dependence for an employee. In this case, it will give 3. In this case, it will give 1. In this case, it will give 2, like that. That's a counting of number of instances. Click OK. Let's use this. So let's add those 2 fields which we have created quickly. So let's do it here. Extract multi-instance. So let's click OK and try to run this data. You can see all towards the right, count related instances. If you don't have any dependents, it says 0. If you have one dependent, it says 1. All right, so we are coming back to our example, Anna Reynolds having 3 dependents, so it says 3 as a count. We haven't set anything on our restriction on the condition, right? If you set the condition as only child, count only children, right, then it would have given 2. So we did not say any condition, so it counts all of the dependents. So now extract multi instances. What did we say? We want all the children to be showing up based on the condition. Dependent is children. We got Benjamin and Allison, these 2 people. This is multi instance. So this field stores more than one value possibly. I mean, if there is no value, nothing as such. It can capacitate or it can store more than one value. That's a multi instance. Or we can say 0 or more. In this case, not 0 or more, so one or more. In this case, 0 or 1, because it can't go beyond 1. Yeah, any question?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So let's go create another calc field. So those are the 3 major usages for instance related fields. So what are the other stuff? Instances. We have covered 3 of them, I think. Extract single instance, extract multi instance, count related. These 3 are majorly used. Okay. And you have something on aggregate related instances and some related instances. These are not much frequently or favorably used, but otherwise I'll just give you a show off of how it can be looked at it. So I don't save it. WP ARI click OK. So what is a source field? So you can just add the source fields, in this case. So as is the sum or number or count, these are all different calc fields that we saw, right? Well, first one we have done it, count related instances, aggregate related instances, sum related instances. These are all number based. End of the day, it's going to give you some number. So which one you say? Dependence. If we have some conditions, just go for it. Fields to aggregate. What is the other field that you want to aggregate? So it could be any other count number field that you want to add, or some other multi-instance field. So let's go with how many benefit elections that this person has got, how many Cobra records this person has got. So you're summing both of them or aggregating both of them. So this number and this number counts and gives you the results. That's aggregated related instances. Next, let's see arithmetic calculations. So this is also used for your number based. If you want to add something, there is a usage. I'll tell you example. ARITH. Click OK. So it can give you numeric or decimal, so which is currency. Okay, and you can apply some rounding options, round down, round up, or round nearby, all those different things that you can see. Whichever is appropriate, you can use it. Return 0 on error, let's say this. And you are trying to do a math on this, like with the help of operators, which will be plus, minus, mean to, or divide. 4 operations that you can do. So you can go for field. Let's say we have one field, if I remember, what is that? Date difference is something which we have done, correct? With the help of dates, service years we have identified, number of months we have identified, remember? How many date difference is what it says. Let me show you that. We'll use that field. Numeric constant, date difference. Yeah, this is 246 months and so on and so forth, right? 105 months. So I want to identify what is the years, how many years this person has experience. I'm just going to use a simple math by using my field WP date difference, and I'll say operator divided by 12, which gives me year. I can say field called global fields, which is a constant numbers will be there, right? So I'll just use that constant numbers. I can just type in like 1, 2 or something. I'll get it. So you don't need another operator because you're having 2 conditions. So for every 2 conditions, sorry, if you have 2 conditions, you'll have only 1 operator. So remember that always the number of fields minus 1 will be the number of operators that you may be using. If you are using 5 fields, you may use 4 operators. That's the logic. Click OK. We'll use the arithmetic calculations in our report. This is typically used in your payroll or maybe whenever you're calculating some numbers and stuff like that. Copy text. Create another, excuse me. Let's see another calc fields. Arithmetic build, concatenate, convert text to number, count related, expression band. Yeah, let's talk about evaluate expression band. Yes. We spoke about evaluate expression. Expression band is more, in a simpler form. I'll tell you what it is. It's more even custom. Worker WP I'll say the business object as worker. Click OK. So here you see the same way, right? As evaluate expression would look like. But the only difference is you don't have an option to choose which type of value you're returning, because it's more or less like an open thing that you can just put some constant. So some values or numbers or whatever you wanted, you can just put it. But your evaluate expression is seeking some information from the other fields, like it could be a text constant or number constant or single instance or whatever, some other value. But evaluate expression band is giving you an open thing, like if at all you wanted to go for the condition, same conditions you can use it, or different conditions. So we have used our manager, non-manager related. Same thing, you could have done it by this way. WP, what is this? WP eval true or false. If the condition is true, obviously this is a condition is true, then return this value. So we'll put something more relevant. if the condition is true, I'm going to say maybe, yeah, let's go with that. So some X, Y, Z. Okay. Otherwise, say A, B, C. Click OK. So the point here is this gives you the liberty to go for any value that you wanted, irrespective of whether you're storing it or not. So let's go for usage. Actions. Custom report edit. We'll use both our calc fields, the evaluate expression band and arithmetic calc. So right down below, I'll say arithmetic calc. Not this. What happened? ARI. Okay. And other one was evaluate expression band. Where's that? So we can add just right below this so that we can use this. I mean, there could be different constants that you may want to use. So again, WP evaluate expression band. Click OK. Run this. Now we should be seeing our results immediately. So here is what we said, X, Y, Z or ABC, depending upon the condition. And next goes your arithmetic calculation, which gives you years, the number of months by 12, which gives you how many years of experience they have, 0.5 or 1.5. If you have used round option, it would have rounded it for you, like 5.9 or 8.4, whatever. Yeah. So that's the usage of this. So we have, I think we have covered 90% of the calculated fields. A few others I'll catch up on the next session, and we should be good on calc fields, and we should enter into EIBs the next session. All right. Any questions before I let you go, guys?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So hope you have a great weekend ahead, and we'll catch up on Sunday and get going from there. I hope you'll be practicing better. We'll catch up. Thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye.